Hey, welcome in, guys. Look at that intro. Look at us, Pete. Regular old professionals here. We're in for the MLB Hit and Run DFS preview for April 8th, 2022. I'm here with my man, Pete Cole. My name is Adam, also known as at YFC Sports V12. Pete is at YFC Sports Pete. Pete, man, we crushed opening day, brother. How are you feeling?
Yeah, what's up? Feeling good. We had a really good day, and we actually hit both sites, right? FanDuel, I think we had a takedown. We had a takedown on DK. I did good personally also. So big day, big opening day, and a lot of it came from our cores and Discord. Pretty much it all came from Discord cores and both sites. So it's good. It's good to see both sites hit.
Yeah, man, it was awesome. That is good when we're covering our bases on both ends. I think I cashed all of my stuff. Main slate. Yep. Main slate at night did that. Hit a couple.
Yeah, night. Yeah, we did good at night.
Yeah. I think that even showdown, we covered that early showdown and there was some fire in there as far as some lineups that were built, but special congratulations to we have a couple of longtime subscribers that had some big hits. I know our guy Corey, he hit a first place lineup. I don't know if that was the $5 or $12. I'm not really too sure, but he hit a $1,000 first place entry. You had a big winner. You had a couple of good lines in there. And then also big win on FanDuel, a longtime subscriber, our TBW Spartans. He single-lined a multi-entry MLB squeeze, 5th out of 118,000 for 5K. So congratulations to both those guys. Really excited, obviously, for them. And of course, we just, we're here. We're here to make you guys money. We're here to, ultimately, get you guys the information that's needed. And right now we do have the MLB promo that is only $25 per month. Is that all sports, Pete? Is that MLB? What is that getting them?
Yeah, it's all sports included. And if you look at our, what everybody knows, we're small sports and niche sports, and it's all sports. Formula One. We have a Formula One show at 11 a.m. Me and Chris. So all those small sports. Your soccer, I see, has been crushing. So everything's included. $25 a month, first 2 months.
Absolutely. I'm going to go ahead and pop into the chat our Discord, link to get in. It is a free Discord, so there's a lot of free general rooms to get in. It's a lot of information, obviously, as well. Good morning. Also, I see Don Day here asking a question about the sheets getting updated and cheat sheets. We are making sure to get that in. A lot of times with our data guys, especially with MLB, we pull historical data, for our own research, which is usually, the last couple of seasons. Usually MLB, whenever you get to be about 30, 45 days in, you're really able to pull current data, but we're working on that actively right now. We're trying to get you guys as much information as possible in regards to ownership.
We should have today.
Yeah, I mean, we want to make sure to cover that for you guys. So we're working on making sure our MLB product is getting in there. I think that the whole industry right now, we're trying to make sure that we get as much data as we can. But usually baseball is historical, Pete. I think that you would agree with that as well. So we are going to be covering here on this show the 5-game slate starting at 7:05 Eastern. I know on DraftKings and I know FanDuel has a slate as well. So a lot of our information is going to be universal. But if you jump into that free Discord, if you are a premium member and you go into our MLB room, I will be covering the core for the early slate that we have today. We have one, I believe it's at 1:05. That looks like another 5-gamer, and you can translate the information over, ask questions, tag me, tag Pete. Any of us on there will have our main cores in there that we're running for cash and double ups and main, and then of course our GPP cores. I think yesterday, Pete, we had a lot of GPP cores, a lot of different takes. So yeah, man, we want to get out there. We want to get to the people, and we want to give them some options and to make some big wins, because ultimately that's what came through yesterday. We talked about the card stack being expensive but being worthwhile on the show. So it looks like that's what the fire was that came through. So give me your quick synopsis of opening day, what you're feeling about this season, what you're seeing price-wise on these players, and just the 30,000-foot view. What are you seeing, Pete?
Open day was, like I said, it was well. We all hit well. Our chorus hit. I was really happy. And honestly, usually opening day was probably one of my worst days of the year. I was thinking about it yesterday. I think the last couple of years I didn't hit because you have too many numbers, stats to go by. But so that's a good sign. I got burned. I was too much on Will Myers. If Myers just got me a hit, I probably would have had a takedown. But It's tough. It's right now. DFS is tough. You need the optimal lineup. I mean, you need to get it right pretty much every. Maybe you can have one player, that kind of shifts the bat on you, but you gotta be good. It's competitive, so it's gonna be a good season. I mean, it's cash players, G and GPP. I'm leaning more toward GPP a little bit this year, just because I just think it's more profitable, but there's also a lot more ups and downs, and I'm a stressful guy, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it's gonna be a good season, and I'm ready for it, man.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I will say, so with MLB, obviously, one thing that we really started to emphasize is that we want to make sure that you're being mindful of this is an early season, kind of transitional. It's almost like late spring training. A lot of these pitchers are not going their full length. I know yesterday we talked about Shane Bieber on the show. We were really high on him about playing him. And then as more news came out, we started seeing that his pitch count was going to be really limited. And actually in the MLB Discord premium chat, I think I mentioned and you mentioned, we were probably going to be off of him. We wound up, I think, both getting on Adam Wainwright and Yu Darvish yesterday in our main lineups, and that wound up being amazing. We talked about Framber Valdez being an excellent, player for night slate or main. And then I think the only one that I would say if we kind of missed on pitcher-wise, we liked Max Fried, but we also, you said it actually, is that you didn't think he was going to have a super long leash. You were a little worried if he got in trouble. He did get in trouble a little bit, in the game. And what did he maybe get, like 60, 65 pitches? Does that sound right?
Who are you talking about, Fried?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he actually did a little bit better the way he started out. I mean, he got some Ks in there, but I'm glad he was actually in my main GBP, but I'm glad I kind of got away from him more than Ohtani was the one, right? Ohtani, I think, was the one that I was worried about, and he still only pitched 4.2 innings, but he got us, I think, 9 Ks. Almost got us 10.
Yeah, that was surprising for sure.
So one thing I think is no pitcher, even going today. And we saw it yesterday. No pitcher is going to win you a GBP or really hurt you yet, because these guys are only going 4 or 5. I mean, your guy Valdez. I think Valdez was the pitcher to slate yesterday. We're both on him. Also, Tyler Mahle, great. I mean, he's a great home away splits guy. But Valdez, to me, was the star of the day, and I wish I had a little bit more Valdez because he was rocking yesterday, man. He looked really, really, really good. He pitched deep into the game.
Yeah,
pitch count was great, so I wouldn't get too hung up on pitchers even on this slate yet.
Right, absolutely, and I will say congratulations to you. You are now 1-0 on the home run calls. I should have just went with my gut. I talked about Soto being my guy, being the whole thing, and I talked about the numbers and everything making sense. And I was like, I'm gonna pick Pete Alonso. He did good though. Alonso got double-digit points, but did not hit me the home run that I needed. So Pete is currently 1-0. We're going to have to make sure to get our bet situation taken care of, and of course get our scoreboard set up somewhere as well. Maybe we can get our engineer guys to put it on our website. That way we can, whenever I catch you and then I pass you, you'll get to see it every single time you go to our website.
And as we do a show during the week, we got to have some people give us some suggestions, because we're going to make a bet here, starting maybe like next weekend at the end of the season. Whoever loses, we got to figure out a good bet between the two of us.
Yeah, I think what we should do is that loser has to shave their head. That would actually probably be my preferred.
That might be a good one. But then, well, you got to put a wig on for a day.
There you go. That might be a good one. That would be really good. All right, so we're going to jump on in, guys. Like I said, go over to the Discord link, and of course, you will have options to be able to look at some different things for the early slate. But we're going to jump right into the afternoon 7:05 main slate. 5 games on the slate, Pete. What we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to talk a little bit about pitcher, about some different games there, and then we're going to jump into batters. I think we want to change it up a little bit. We wanted to find what best fits our format. I know we only have 5 games, but I think we only had 5 or 6 games yesterday, and we wound up going over an hour. So we want to keep it concise here for them. So can you talk real quick? What does weather look like across the MLB spectrum today?
All right. So for the night slate, and I apologize, my computer's a little bit slow today. I also apologize for my audio. I should have a new mic by Monday, but 7 p.m. slate should be good. The only problem. No, the Washington Mets game, it looks like it's going to be dry. This is according to Kevin Roth. Thank you from Rotor Grinders. Early games, possibly the Yankee game. He has that as an orange. But 7 p.m. game looks like we're good to go. Looks like we should get all 5 games in here. No major wins. I mean, of course, it's going to be cold everywhere. Beside, I see Southern California is going with a little heat wave, but beside that, it's going to be cold again. So this is obviously going to affect the bats. But good day for weather.
Yeah, man. I definitely would say that I was a little worried yesterday. Not really because I thought that any game should have been canceled, but man, the Nationals is always scary because they will postpone a game just for a light sprinkle, man. So I was like, in Atlanta too. I think both of those teams are traditional. We have issues with weather and them canceling, but we made it through. We're good to go. Let's talk about pitching real quick here on the slate. We do have Max Scherzer against his old team already right out the gate. He's coming in as the highest priced pitcher. I'm going to use some DraftKings pricings for reference. 10.2K obviously on there. We have Sean Manaea up there, San Diego at Arizona, another good matchup there. I do like Jose Barrios. The Texas Rangers, unless they show me something different, have always been a high strikeout team. So right up top, we have some good pitchers. Then you got Charlie Morton, curveball Charlie in there against Cincinnati here for Atlanta starting there. And then it starts to get, a little bit shaky. There's a little bit of unknowns there, but I do like some of the matchups there. I think that there's some definite GPP upside, but definitely feel that just from what I'm looking at here, probable pitchers, that we're probably looking at the top for some cash plays. Pete, tell me about what you think, and I'll give you my final thoughts on that.
All right, so I'm looking at pretty much 3 main pitchers. So of course we got Max, and you want to call it a revenge game, narrative, all that, but Max is an animal. I won't want to face him. I could see Juan Soto probably just licking his chops because he's the competitor he is, but Max is going to be high owned. His pricing is I'm trying to pull up.
He's at 10.2 right now.
Okay, so 10.2. So of course you're going to pay for him, but he's your SP1. He's your FanDuel, got to be your FanDuel main pitcher. At FanDuel he's 11K, so he's not cheap on FanDuel either. So Max is Max. We don't have to get into it, but we do know that Max will give up some. He'll mow him down. But you also know he's a workhorse. We also know he will give up the long ball. It seems like every time you play him, he gets up one shot, and then maybe the Soto, maybe Josh Bell. But you do have the hamstring questions. It can flare up at any time, and you get into that Mets bullpen, and Washington go crazy. But Max is the SP1 for me, and then it's between 2 guys. Now, I'm a huge Charlie Morton guy. Actually, as you were talking, I called up thing Morton right now. Forbes actually magazine did a top curveball pitchers, and he's ranked number 3 right now, Morton in the major leagues, 77% adjusted contact, 17.7 whiff rate. But we all know about Charlie's curveballs. To me, he's a stud. I've always been a big Morton guy. He's got the cap side. Remember, the Reds bats can be a problem. They have some pop. They showed it yesterday. But I also think that the Reds are going to struggle a little bit more with Morton than they did Fried yesterday. I think Morton's better than Fried right now. He's more of a K pitcher, and since he actually hits lefties better. So I'm on Max and Fried. Barrios, man, we like him at home. He's efficient. His K rate is up. He is a legit pitcher, but this Texas lineup, I like this. Texas might be my adopted team this year. I like this Texas lineup, and Barrios does struggle against lefties. And you look at that Texas lineup. I love Corey Seager in there, and you're in a hitter's ballpark in Toronto. So I think Barrios may be my fade. As you're looking at all the lefties in there, Corey Seager. I love Brad Miller. Nate Lowe should be batting 5th. Cole Calhoun, Willie Calhoun, all those guys. So to me, it's Morton, Max, Barrios would be 3, and then maybe like a Josiah Gray. Josiah Gray, he has home run issues, but he also has some big K stuff. That's all I'm really looking at. And the rest of those guys, Detmers maybe. Detmers got some nasty stuff, but that's it. Manaea, I always stack against. So I don't mess with Sean Manaea. Maybe a little Merrill Kelly in GPPs because San Diego offense doesn't scare me. We saw last night what they can't do without Tatis. So That's pretty much, all in a nutshell. To me, it's Max and Morton.
Absolutely. this guy, the San Martin kid from Cincinnati, obviously small sample size on what he's done, and I think it's a good just to kind of touch base on him. But the metrics that he pitched seemed really good, but also it's a super small sample size, and he's going against an Atlanta team that can get very right-handed here, and that's kind of the side of the plate that he struggles. But the one thing that kind of stood out to me about this guy is he didn't have overwhelming stuff. And sometimes these guys that come in, they don't really throw very hard, but they have some good movement on these pitches. If a hitter has not seen them, the one thing MLB hitters seem to pick up on, if they know a guy throws gas, he usually throws a very straight, plain fastball. So they can, MLB hitters are skilled enough to pick up with that. I do worry a little bit. I was looking at his stuff, and I was watching some YouTube clips just to kind of watch him from last year and everything like that. So, I mean, I'm not saying he's somebody I would play because he's overpriced, I think, on there. But I think if you were looking for somebody, and I'm talking with my GPP hat on here, that could get through the lineup a couple times and be 0% owned, maybe 0.5% owned, he's probably going to be that guy. There ain't no way that people are going to play him here against Atlanta. So, I mean, he was kind of interesting at 7.8K. I will not play him unless I'm playing at least 20 lineups plus, and I may throw him in there in a couple. I want to mention that first and foremost. But the guy seems to have some good movement, and he seems to be – he doesn't throw hard at all. So, he's somebody interested on there. Give me what you think here about Jake Odoris. He's a guy that's been around a long time, and you kind of covered the main guys, and I'm not going to I'll reiterate, I like Max too. I like Berrios too. I like Charlie. I'm all those guys. I think Sean Manaea is kind of more GPP here just because of the price tag. But for a guy like Jake Odoris, he's been around a while. Obviously, he struggled, whenever he transitioned over to Houston. He usually gives up a lot of hard contact. Obviously, the last couple of seasons, he has a 5.0 xFIP, which is very worrisome, a low ground ball rate, high fly ball rate. And I will say, though, that he still throws hard. I mean, if he can throw it and, he can spot that fastball, this Angels lineup, like I said, you're going to have Ohtani there. He's going to be available on some on DraftKings and FanDuel sites, obviously, to be a hitter and everything like that. Do you have any GPP appeal for an Odorizzi that's only priced at 5.8?
That's what he is, 5'8". Yeah, you almost have to. He would definitely be. If I'm making five lineups, he'll be an SP2 and at least one of them. But I mean, Odorizzi isn't getting any younger. And as you're talking, and you're right, good point. He's still up in the 90s. He's still in the mid 90s. That fastball, mid 80s. That cutter, almost 88 miles an hour.
Right.
But what worries me is, his main pitch, he throws that fastball like 60% of the time. And two guys, man, I mean, of course, we all know about Mike Trout, but I see Jared Walsh today could be in a crush spot today against Odorizzi. We know Walsh loves those splits and as a lefty. So, but yeah, he's in play, especially when we only have certain guys. I would probably run the Reds kid out there first, because we know when those Braves bats are cold, they're cold. I mean, they could totally smoke them too. But like we said before, Odorizzi, he's a professional pitcher. He's been around forever. Watched him a lot, here in Tampa. But looking at the exit from last year, it's over 5, low K rate. I don't have much interest in them. They're hitting the ball hard, hitting the ball in the air. I could see a big Angels game here with Trout, Walsh, maybe like a little, I don't know, like that Marsh kid, somebody could be teeing off on Odorizzi today.
All right, cool. Yeah, so just to recap, guys, like I said, our favorite cash pitchers right now, obviously we're looking at Max. We probably expect him to get most of the ownership, even against his Washington team, because as you all know, we spoke about this yesterday on stream, is that Max could give up 2 or 3 runs and absolutely still put a 20-point performance in without a win, just because of the amount of strikeouts that he will get. Obviously, I think Charlie Morton, Pete and I are both going to lean towards, just because it gives you a little bit of a price break. You can get some bats, because bats you're going to want to get on, I feel like on this slate, you're going to want to get a few high-priced ones. But, I mean, I actually do like Jose Berrios a lot. God, man, he's the guy that I've played a lot, probably too much. And, sometimes he burns me, sometimes he doesn't. But I do like him here. I will say I agree with you on that Texas lineup. Now that I'm kind of really looking at it, I'm like, this lineup could hit. I mean, definitely, especially because they got a lot of really good left-handers here, and Berrios absolutely struggles against left-handers. And so, there's going to be some strikeouts, but there's probably going to be some stuff that's hard hit. Obviously, Toronto, I think one thing, and I don't know, and I really hate to bring up like the whole COVID situation because that was such a freaking depressing thing for us in sports. But isn't Toronto? Don't they have the mandates where if you're not vaccinated, you can't play in Toronto this year?
I meant to look that up even before that. We were talking about that the other day, but I haven't heard of anybody being limited here. Good question. So I think anybody must. I wish they were still playing in Sweden. That was great last spring.
Yeah, but that being said, that kind of goes back to ballpark data. I think that Toronto is one of the better hitters parks.
Yeah,
what I remember.
I'm glad you brought that up too.
Yeah, that alone might kind of get me off of Berrios, even though I like him, just because I'm like, man, these guys, all the Texas guys, that they put a bunch of hard hitting guys together, and a lot of left-handed bats here, and like I said, I love Seager, love Lowe, even down there looking at the Calhouns down there, Cole and Willie. The brothers from another mother. That's what we're going to call them this year, Pete, since they're on the same team. So, but yeah, I mean, definitely something to look at there. So when it gets closer to lock, obviously we'll have a little bit better idea ownership projections wise. But right now, I think Charlie and Max is probably going to be a good pairing. You could absolutely go down a little bit. You talked a little bit about Merrill Kelly. He's kind of the redheaded stepchild of MLB pitching. He could be good. He's hurt a lot of people before. People stack against him, and the guy comes out there and does decent. And he kind of pulls that Kyle Hendricks like he did yesterday. And that's a good point. It's like some of these guys are going to come in, they're going to be decent, and there's nothing you can do about it. Like they're just bad pitchers having a good day, and those bats are cold. So I think that about wraps it up with pitching.
Just quickly, Merrill Kelly. I just saw a nice stat on him though. And he is probably going to be overlooked, and especially FanDuel. He's 6'5" on FanDuel. He 16 innings against San Diego last year. He only gave up 4 runs and struck out 14. And Kelly had a pretty decent spring. I won some money on him in a couple of games of spring training games, the 4:00 game. So Merrill Kelly would probably be the one I'd maybe slide in there as a sneaky GPP play tonight.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I was looking at some FanDuel pricing just to kind of see like what we had looked on there. But yeah, I think that, like I said, it's going to be a good, interesting slate with it being smaller. I think that you really have to probably hit on at least one of your pitchers, if not both of them, for sure today. So bullpen wise, Pete, just so we do our due diligence on there, is there any bullpen data or news on any of these teams that we should be mindful of? I know the Texas bullpen's always been pretty awful. Are they still bad?
Yeah, and there's not. The Mets bullpen I don't think is great right now. Not really. I just think it's too early really for much bullpen data. We know the shit bullpens. But that's a good point. Once we get a couple weeks into the season, we'll have a whole little bullpen section. Yeah. But the park, I was looking at the park data on this 7:00 slate. I'm looking at ballparkpal.com. They have the top 3 stadiums are in the 7 p.m. slate. Chase Field number 1, Rogers Center Toronto number 2, and Angel Stadium is the 3rd ranked stadium tonight. So we got 3 good hitters park: Toronto, Arizona, and the Angels tonight.
Excellent. All right. Love it. All right. Moving over to hitting. So obviously we talked about some pitchers that, we're a little worried about, which kind of gives us a good segue over to bats that we're going to like. So teams right now. So from an implied run standpoint, Pete, I know you said you pulled up a few betting stats, and I'll cover some BVP here. But are there any high implied totals that we need to be focused on right now?
No. The highest is going to be the Angels game right now. I had them at 9.5 combined, and then Arizona San Diego 9, and then a Toronto Texas game 9 combined. So nothing, no course here, nothing crazy.
All right. BVP, obviously, no surprise because Boomstick Nelson Cruz has been around forever, but he has 29 plate appearances against Max. Actually has a lot of success. He's had 3 bombs off him. He struck out 8 times, but hitting .429, slugging .857. So something to keep in the back of our head. Other than that, I don't see anything necessarily against Max here, but looking down a little bit, let me see if there's anything on here.
Alcides Escobar, against. Why is Alcides Escobar like 5K now?
Yeah,
but he does.
Yeah, okay. I guess, that's fair. 293, 463 slugging.
Yeah, that's not bad.
2 home runs. No, it's not. And he's a switch hitter, right? Escobar.
I know he hits from the right side.
From what I remember, he's a switch hitter. I could be wrong, but let me see. I'll just look real quick. Shortstop, because now you got it on my head. Yeah, he's listed as just right-handed. So I thought he was a switch hitter for some reason. I don't know. I've had a lot of baseball data in my head that just leaks out sometimes, but I definitely remember him hitting. But he could, that happens sometimes where, I'm thinking of Alcides, but I could also be thinking of Eduardo, and I know he is a switch hitter, so there's that too. But yeah, I mean, other than that, BVP wise, I do see that Votto has a lot of data against Charlie Morton. Not a lot of good power numbers, but he has hit 300, 7 walks against him. So he has an on-base percentage against him. And Joey Votto has kind of done that towards the end of his career, right? He's a better plate appearance, a walk guy, and everything like that. It's not going to hit a ton of home runs anymore. So he's somebody, obviously, to keep an eye on here. And then looking down if there's anything else. Let me see.
Yeah, there's not too much here.
I'm going to just give this to you. I want you to give me your best guess. What do you think Mike Trout career success against Odoris? Just what do you think? Good, bad, middle of the road? What do you think?
I would think Trout crushes them, especially with the positive platoon. No, he doesn't. Actually, it is reverse. So I guess you're trying to tell me that Odoris owns them.
No, he doesn't know. It's middle of the road. It was more of a trap question there, but 16 plate appearances, obviously. 5 hits on there. 3 walks. He has 5 strikeouts against Odoris, which is kind of interesting for Mike Trout. He's a pretty disciplined hitter, but hitting 385, slugging 462. No home runs, though. So this would be a first against the guy. And Odoris absolutely, at this point in his career, can give it up. So something to keep an eye on there. Let me see if there's anything else. It's so funny. I always look for these Toronto guys, and they're all kids. None of them have any BVP data because they're all so super young. And they don't have enough plate appearances yet on there. But let me see if there's anything else worth mentioning here. Cole Calhoun, that he's under 10 appearances, but he does have some good splits against Berrios, slugging 571, hitting over 400 on there. I think that's about it. So for BVP, there's not a ton. Obviously, there's some stuff there worth mentioning as well. But So,
if you're playing early slate, Manuel Margot is 6 for 12, 500 against John Means. That's all I see.
Yeah, and then I'm not sure is the Colorado game on the early slate. Obviously, Charlie Blackmon has a lot of success here against Walker Buehler. So that's something to kind of keep in the back of your mind. Something for me also is where my guy John Means is pitching today, so that should be interesting. I mean, you talked about Margot, but Rosarina. I don't know if he's playing or not. I mean, but obviously he's had a lot of success against him, slugging over 1,000. But now we're getting off track, Pete. We got to get back on track here. So hitting for this slate right now, ownership is kind of spotty at best on figuring out what we're going to be. But you absolutely have to think the highest priced player on the slate is Shohei Ohtani. Here batting leadoff against Odoris. You got to like this guy here, right? I mean, it seems like it's going to match. And we can kind of go game by game here.
You know what? Let's just do by position because let's just start with catcher and go by position. Okay. That's the easiest for me.
Perfect. Catcher starting out highest price, obviously Mitch Garver here against Berrios. He's batting hardly order number 4. Dalton Varsho. How did he end up yesterday? We liked him.
I think he was over.
Yeah?
I'm pretty sure he was over, yeah. Unless he got a hit late in the game. At one point, I looked, he was like 0 for 3, 0 for 4. I mean, you had a no-hitter going until he had a no-hitter when they pulled him. As soon as they pulled you, the kid gave up a hit the first batter.
Yeah. I mean, you would love to keep him out there, but I totally get it. They want to protect themselves too. So, I think that, let me see here. So looking at the rest of catcher, Danny Jansen, there's nobody really here. I mean, you might be playing value today. I think that you and I kind of are from the same school of catcher where if we don't find anybody up top that we really, really, really like, that's almost a near core play for us, that we're just going to try to find some value. I will say sub 4K guys that are on there. Kyber Ruiz did pretty good yesterday. He got a big hit. I told you I was real big on him this year. And I mean, obviously he kind of came through. It is max today. So, obviously be mindful of that. But so he's under there at 3.8. And I think I will say Machete Martin Maldonado, he's down there at 2.8. If he gets to start here, he's going to have some platoon advantages here. And then there's a min price Arizona catcher, If it's not Varsho, it could be Jose Herrera, switch hitter there, but it'll probably be Varsho again. I don't really see anything down low that I love. Tyler Stevenson could be batting fourth here against Charlie Morton. So what else on catcher am I missing here, Pete?
I think if I'm paying upper mid-level, it's going to be Denard. With that positive platoon, he's probably my favorite pitcher tonight. Against the kid from Cincy. He's been hitting, bottom that line with 399 Woba last year, 40% hard contact. He would probably be my pay up. But if not, I'm looking at probably two catchers. I'm looking at I like Kelly. I'm a big Kelly guy. What's Kelly's price? But he's going up against Manea.
4.2 on.
Yeah, and he gets that split. And we know Kelly crushes lefties. So probably Kelly, 267 ISO, 412 Woba. Kelly would probably be my main guys. I like to pick on Manea. And what's Kelly at 4.2 though? If not, then probably down to Alejandro Kirk at 3.4 in Toronto against John Gray. Gray can be sneaky though. Yeah. So I'm looking at probably those three guys.
I love FanDuel because you don't necessarily have to play a catcher. Obviously you can, but like the catcher prices are so dirt cheap on there. Like 2.5 for Carson Kelly. Most of these guys are around like 2.1 and stuff like that. But yeah, so anyways, just worth noting on there. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think Darno, it sucks that he's batting eighth, but obviously that platoon advantage, the guy can hit for power, he can hit for contact, and hopefully he has guys on base, which gives him a lot of opportunities on there as well. So yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, if I see Martin Maldonado starting at 2.8, I might just go there and save, a little over 1,000 as well. I think that there's some other positions that I really want to focus in on here. So, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Essentially, he's got that positive split too. I had no problem going on Maldonado.
And if I take a 0 from a 2 point, whatever guy, I'm not going to be, ultimately upset on that. So, all right. Anything else on catcher? You want to move to first?
No, let's go.
All right, first base. Obviously, Ohtani is dual eligible, 6.3K. He's leading the slate. You got Vlad up there as well here against John Gray. He should be batting at the top of that that deadly Toronto order. Olsen has a lefty-on-lefty matchup here. Not great. Votto, we talked about some success against Morton. Let me see also. I like Yuli today, man. Well, he's 5.1 though. It's a platoon advantage as well. He hits lefties really well. You got Josh Bell against Max. It's kind of but from a looking down value standpoint, Pete, we talked about Nate Lowe earlier against Berrios here. He projects really well, and Luke Voigt. So the thing about Merrill Kelly, and I'm going to look at it right now just to confirm.
Reverse split.
Reverse splits, right?
Yep.
So
and Voigt's reverse splits batter. I love Voigt is my play today. He's probably my home run call.
Yeah, I love it here. It looks like, Merrill Kelly is also throwing. I know he has that sinking fastball or whatever it is. And if you look at Voigt here, Woba is 393 against that pitch, 193 ISO. Decent hard hit, but he looks to be him and Hosmer are the best two. And you can play a Voigt-Hosmer stack. I think they should be batting 4-5 here in this Padres order if you like that. And I mean, obviously Hosmer, he's good at a platoon splits there, and he looks like from a pitch data standpoint that he could be really good here as well. So absolutely, I like Voigt a lot, and he's only 4K here, so you don't have to sacrifice not getting to play Ohtani if that's what you want to do. You can still play Voigt there as well. Eduardo Escobar, who we were talking about earlier, 4.8K splits. A lot of these price tags, Pete, are super expensive, man. A lot of these guys, it's like they took all of their highest price points on some of these guys for DK, and they just threw them in there, and they're like, well, we'll just adjust the algorithm as we go. But that's good because that helps with lineup builds. You don't have a bunch of chalky lineups and stuff like that. So that should be really good for us. You talked about Jared Walsh on here. So if you don't play Voigt, who are you looking at?
I don't like Walsh's price, especially the way he finished last year.
Yeah.
But you can't deny the numbers on the split. So I'm probably, and we got a long ways to go tonight, but probably will be Voigt as I like that price. But Walsh, he is definitely set up here, definitely set up to go against Odoris. Great spot for him. So probably, I'm not paying 6.3 for Ohtani, GPP of course. Another one, Brad Miller. If Brad Miller is top of that order again, should be leading off. I would go. I think I may pick on Barrios today. I may get in trouble for that, but I'm a big Brad Miller guy. He's a veteran, so I like him. What's Alonso? 5'3". And Vlad's probably going to be the chalk. He's probably going to be the top cash play.
I was going to say, at least from like a GPP standpoint, if you're paying down or no paying up.
Remember Vlad's reverse splits too. So Vlad's crushes righties and he could crush Gray. So
here's an interesting little stat about Vlad. Well, let's start. John Gray, historically over his career, he throws his fastball or his slider at least 90% of the time, over 90% of the time, one of those two pitches. Against the fastball, Vlad, 441 WOBA, 295 ISO, hard hit rate of 50%. Against the slider, 316 WOBA, 197 ISO, hits the ball 43% hard hit rate. I mean, this dude, those are two pitches he crushes. So
he's probably to play if you're gonna get up there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that kind of covers first base. I mean,
I got one sneaky call.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
GDP. No, sorry. If you're not using Charlie Morton, and I will get him in at least one lineup because everybody knows my love for Colin Moran. And as long as Moran's in the lineup, he should be. We know Moran hits righties, so Colin Moran as a sneaky play GBP could tee off today.
I'm on board with that. I love it. All right. So that goes into second base here. Kind of digging in. Obviously, Altuve is at the top, 5.7K. Good splits advantage here. He's in a really good spot here. If you have the salary, he might be the guy that you're going to go up there. Obviously, you can play Marcus Semien here with that Toronto stack. But if he's right there at $100 less than Altuve, I'm probably playing Altuve, just me personally. Albies, we talked about Atlanta here, switch hitter against that San Martin kid from Cincinnati. Kind of digging down a little bit. Jonathan India, he's still above 5K playing against Morton. I don't love that spot here. Jake Cronworth, he gets the positive splits advantage. He was batting in the 3-hole for the Padres. He gets Merrill Kelly here, but we talked about it, reverse splits pitcher, so it may not be the greatest spot. If a lot of people get on Cronworth, not saying he's not a good hitter, but it may not be the best matchup. If you're just looking at splits, righty, lefties, and not digging into data with reverse splits, you're not going to see that, obviously. And then I do like here Biggio. He's slotted to bat all the way down at 8th, but he's only 3.4K. You got the Squirrel, Jeff McNeil, against the other Gray at only 3.3K. And then your guy, Robinson Cano, could be batting 5-hole at 2.4K against Gray as well, which he projects really well as a point per dollar standpoint. All right, second base, Pete, what do you think?
I mean, Cano's been playing really well. He really has. But on DK, I'm all about Albies today. When I can get Albies at home, against a lefty, I got to go to Albies. What's his price? He's 5'3" though. Altuve's right up there with him. But as we were talking earlier, this San Martin kid, he relies a lot on his changeup, like 40% of the time against righties. And Albies 424.6 WOBA, 376 WOBA, 44. Him and Olsen crushed the changeup. So I like Albies today a lot. I like to play Albies against lefties. So
yeah,
that's my top play. If I'm
that's
gonna
pay off. I was just that's a really good dig here. Looking at Albies, looking at that pitch data right here, which is one of the things that we try to bring to you guys. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, the kid doesn't throw very hard anyway, which is kind of weird because like his changeup he throws at 84, his fastball he throws at 89. So it's not like there's that much of a differential.
No, yeah, there is like 4 or 5 miles an hour.
Yeah,
but it's maybe Ketel Marte. I'm a big Marte guy, but I may end up paying up, for like an Altuve or.
I think a pivot to Albies is just amazing too. Like you don't have to be on Altuve because Albies you're going to get that switch hitting as well, and I think that the pitch data shows that if he can get through this guy, or he can touch up this San Martin kid. Kind of looking at the bullpen data for Cincinnati, they're not good either. So that they actually have one of the bottom bullpens from what it looks like here. I was kind of looking at the workload here and seeing who they see. But yeah, there's nothing in there that's scary. So definitely somebody to consider there as well if you decide to pay up. I like that call a lot. I might be on Albies now too. Okay, so anything else?
Got Sebian revenge game, I guess, going against Toronto again. So, but I'm not paying 5-6 for him.
Yeah, that's true for sure. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, I got sidetracked. I was looking to see if I had anything, but I'm already on third base, Pete. So I guess that's where you're going to be with me today. So third base, Machado Day was yesterday. Obviously, he's in a good spot. His reverse splits also here against a Merrill Kelly. I thought maybe that they had a little bit more historical data against each other, but looks like there was 28 plate appearances, which is pretty good. I thought Machado would have been much better, but it turns out Merrill Kelly kind of owns this guy. He's faced him. He got 4 strikeouts against him. He's only hitting 161 against Kelly, 208 slugging. It seems like he just does not prefer to play against Merrill Kelly. So I am marking Machado off my list completely if I play, any type of MME or anything like that, just because I'm not paying 5.2K here against a guy that has terrible history against a guy can't hit the pitch type he is. Absolutely, he could pay off. He's Manny Machado, but the data doesn't point to him here. So I'm looking a little bit lower. Bregman hit a home run last night. I love him a lot here, 4.9K. Usually he's a 5K plus player all season. Yeah. Austin Riley is in a good spot here as well. We talked about switch hitting Eduardo Escobar. Up tight, you got your guy Colin Moran as well. So definitely some guys to consider there. With that being said, value-wise, Pete, I think you talked about Matt Chapman a little bit. Anthony Rendon's down there against Odoris, somebody to keep our eye on. But Mike Moustakas here is batting 2.9K against Charlie Morton, probably hitting the 5-hole. 2.9K for Moose. Definitely something to look at. What are your thoughts here at the third base position?
I'm not into Machado really either. I like the Bregman price. He may end up being the chalk play at 4.9. Go Bregman. I'd rather play Austin Riley in the reverse splits. He crushes righties, so I'd probably stay away from Riley today. The one day I probably would keep him out of a stack. Like Matt Chapman's price of 4.3. I think Chapman's gonna have a good year. Big park environment upgrade. Colin Moran, of course, GBPs. I do have some interest in Tyler Wade. We've loved this kid in New York. He finally started playing well, toward the end of last year. He's only 2.5. If he's leading off tonight against Odoris and I need a punt, I have no problem going to Tyler Wade at 2.5. I know Moose is $400 more, but like I said, I don't like messing with Charlie Morton, especially if Morton's been pitching well. But so I think Bregman, Chapman, Tyler Wade. That's how I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, me too. I think I'm probably going to be on Bregman. He's one of my favorite plays today. I definitely think that he has home run back-to-back days capability. This kid here, Detmers. Obviously it's a platoon advantage, but two, righties, he throws a fastball 36% of the time, my apologies, and a curveball 32% of the time. And Bregman, I know he hits the fastball well, but against the curveball, he has a 407 WOBA, 265 ISO, albeit only 27 batted ball data against that pitch. But, clearly he's seeing it pretty well. And he only hits a ground ball like 29% of the time. So, it seems like, the guy's getting the ball in the air. He follows that pitch. There's some pitches that Bregman will struggle with, and that's usually not one of them. That's just my opinion on there. But definitely, like, if I'm not going up top, I might go all the way down. Exactly. I like Tyler Wade here. I'm fine stacking against Odoris. I've never thought he's been that good for Houston anyway, so it's a little worrisome that we're throwing him out here today. I get it; he's an innings eater guy, but no McCullers in the rotation.
Yeah, so. When he's your number 2 pitcher on day 2.
It's weird though, but they have Luis Garcia, who's good. They have Christian Javier is pretty good. I'm just wondering if they just put him here because they wanted to have those guys go against the 3 and 4s, in the lineup. Without McCullers, so.
I think he's a good fit in Houston. He said he's been around forever. Great guy to have in a clubhouse. Great guy for young pitchers. So I don't want to downplay Odoris either. But
Verlander will be back soon enough. Verlander will be back soon enough. So
I totally forgot about Verlander. Yeah, and he had a couple big spring training games.
Yeah. All right, Pete. So for time's sake, we need to go ahead and cover shortstop, and then outfield will be our one that we'll spend the time on probably here. But shortstop here, 5-game slate. Obviously, there's some pay up options. Bo Bichette, man, $6K. God, that's a price tag for him.
Yeah.
I really like Lindor here, 4.8 switch hitter. You talked about Corey Seager against Berrios here, who might be super solid. 5.2. It's tough to get on the Dansby Swanson bandwagon. They already dropped him to 4.5. I know he was pricey yesterday. I think he was 5.2. He was batting like ninth though, so that's a little troublesome. And when we talk about batting order, guys, generally you're going to have the opportunity to get at least an additional plate appearance to hire you up in the order. So you could be talking about 4 to 5 plate appearances versus 3 to 4. Obviously, it's something to keep an eye out for. But from a, just a value standpoint, Orlando Arcia, 2.5K, looking to lead off against San Martin here. And then Jeremy Payne, I like him a lot here against Detmers. He had a good spring training, had some good slash numbers. So for the Astros, I really do like him here. Shortstop thoughts?
I'm probably going back to Lindor. I want to pick on Gray a little bit. We know, Gray's got a little strikeout potential, but he can also give up a lot of long balls. And if he struggles, I think Lindor is going to be in the middle of it. He ended up getting hit last night. I think it was like 1 for 5. Struck out a couple times, but I like Lindor is probably my favorite. No, well, what's Lindor? What's Lindor? Okay, he's 4.8. I like Corey Seager a lot too. I'm probably gonna pick on Berrios more in GDPs, but Corey Seager, man, I just like those lefties today. I mean, with him, Miller and Lowe, 226 ISO, 379 WOBA, 45% hard hit.
Yep.
I see Seager in a huge year this year, so probably Lindor, then Seager. And if we're looking at any values, I guess Tyler Wade, shortstop eligible too. Farmer had a nice game yesterday, 3, but going against Morton. Maybe what about CJ Abrams? If CJ Abrams gets to start 2-3, that could be a nice punt against Merrill Kelly. He's got the positive. He's got the platoon there.
Yeah,
but I think Lindor is my play.
I checked Seager's batted ball data versus all of Berrios' pitches. He's good at all of them. So he's profiling extremely well here, batting in that 3 hole. I will say I like him a lot more on FanDuel because he is only 3.3K. Bo Bichette's 4.2.
Yeah,
that's 3.8.
FanDuel lock. Yep.
Yeah,
nice
Seager at 3. Seager at 3.3. I love here for FanDuel. But he's always been priced up. I think on DraftKings a lot more. So if you have the salary, Seager is probably I lean him a little bit more over Lindor here, but I like them both. I will say Alamedas Diaz, if he's hitting 2 against Detmer at 3.7, I'm really going to have to make some decisions there because, Diaz has always had pop and he's done very well in Houston as well. So he's somebody that, you're getting good value here. This Detmer's kid is not great. And I was looking at, I want to see what his data is. So batted ball data, not great against the curveball, but obviously if he gets some fastballs, he's going to eat those up, 260 ISO. He's somebody to definitely consider, especially if he hits in the 2 hole there. So, we talked about some value, Arcia. We talked about Pena here. It's weird having Orlando Arcia at the top of that Atlanta order. Doesn't that leadoff guy?
One good thing is it's a cheap way to get a 4 or 5 man Atlanta stack though. Putting Arcia in there. I'm not playing him in cash, but I think it's a good GVP play, and I see him before too. I think he may be leading off tonight against the lefty. So
okay, fair enough.
We may see Pena sit tonight, or Diaz maybe playing. We got the DH too though. I keep forgetting about the
yeah. I think that it would
be DH.
Yeah. Well, if they use a DH, that means Jordan's got to be in the field. So that's something to look at there. So I don't know.
Pena was overmatched against Ohtani yesterday. So, and I played him too. So
well, he wound up coming through against the bullpen. It just, obviously, I agree that he didn't look great against Ohtani, but that's the thing. If you're hitting 4th in the Astros lineup, you got protection all around you. And the guy has immense hitting talent. So obviously it's something to consider there, but yeah, I think that pretty much covers shortstop, Pete. So home stretch here on the hit and run. Don't forget, guys, as we finish up this broadcast, we're going to cover outfield here in a second. $25 right now is the promo, all sports, including our MLB, Right now we have Masters going on, soccer, Champions League, Premier League's going hot, golf right now. We mentioned that. Tennis, F1 show today, right, Pete?
11 a.m. In about an hour and 10 minutes we'll be on.
All right, so we got to make room for that. Give Pete a time to take a breather before then. Jumping into outfield, MLB second day, Pete. We want to. I feel like we probably had some of the most success in the industry. Which is on some of our winners here. Based off of our site. If we're the little engine that could, man, we're making some noise in MLB, and that's what we're here for you guys. So let's talk about it. Outfield, obviously, Shohei Ohtani. We've already talked about him. Juan Soto, 6'2", against Max. He's a gamer. It's Max Scherzer. Max can give up some home runs, can give up some hard hits. He can also get some strikeouts. Soto's pretty disciplined. We'll go down the list, but tell me, because I do want to hear your little blurb about Juan Soto today. What do you think?
Well, to me, I think, Soto's the type of guy that is going to see this matchup with Max is, he's a competitor, and he sure as hell is not going to, stand down to Max. I'm really looking forward to seeing a matchup between these two. Yeah. Is he cash play? No, because of the price since Max. But I like Soto. I'll probably have him in at least a lineup, because we do know Max can up the long ball. If he's up to anybody, it's going to be either Soto or possibly Josh Bell. Boomstick got reversed, so probably Soto. But I'm not crazy about high-end outfielders today.
Yeah.
I guess you go with Trout, Ohtani. I would rather see these guys against lefties at that price. I don't know.
The heat map on Soto, Pete, I just want you to know, is that Max likes to challenge guys over the heart of the plate. Max throws hard, but
he's going to be too.
But Soto absolutely can turn on any fastball I've ever seen that guy get thrown at. He hits against the fastball, just so you know, 475 WOBA, 362 ISO, 57.32% hard hit rate. And if you're looking at the high-end fastballs, which are 94 to 96, which is the max range, he has a 516 WOBA and a 478 ISO. You cannot throw anything past this kid. It reminds me of that Ken Griffey video I saw yesterday when this kid, when he was in Cincinnati, turning on 95, 96 mile per hour fastballs. Soto, he'll put it in the opposite field. He doesn't need to put it in the right field stands. But I think today, this guy, just like we talked about Bregman earlier, but Soto could get another one today. But I think the price tag, the likelihood does not put him as like a cash radar, but I love him today.
He's going to be low owned. It's a good call. He's going to be very low owned because of the max factor, and Max is not pitching the whole game. So yeah. Soto is probably your top pay up there, and he's going to be low owned, which people are going to be afraid to play him against Max.
Absolutely. So looking here at the top, we talked about some of these teams that we like. We like Toronto a lot here. Teo Hernandez could be batting in the 3 spot. He never gets played, but he always performs. You got Kyle Tucker up there with Jordan. They're above 5K. Obviously, Mike Trout is very in play here against Odoris, even if he's middle of the road there. If I'm kind of digging down in salary, Pete, the likelihood of me actually getting to play some of these guys with all these other positionals, with pitching paying up, we're not going to have multiple 5K players that we're playing. So we're going to have to definitely make some decisions, some value everywhere. I will say if I'm digging down for outfield value, there's some guys that I like. We talked about this guy yesterday, Will Myers, reverse splits here against Merrill Kelly. Will Myers is still priced down only at 3.8K. He's definitely somebody to consider, even if he's batting down at the 6th hole. Looking at Merrill Kelly, looking at the pitch data for Will Myers, is that he's pretty good at those low pitches. Merrill likes to throw that little sinking fastball, and it looks like, let's see, Will Myers, that's decent, 350 WOBA against that pitch. He's not hitting it super hard, but he's making contact with it, so something to consider there. I can keep looking and digging. What are you seeing while I dig a little bit more on value?
No, I probably will go back to the well with Myers tonight. Me and it being still one of my favorite plays again. I think Ozuna's probably still too cheap at 4K. He's got that platoon against the lefties, so I could go Ozuna. Yeah, 4K is too cheap for Ozuna. After that, Biggio is outfield eligible, so 3-4. He gets the platoon against Gray, so maybe that's the way to get some J's in there.
Yeah.
So I could see Biggio as being one of my values, and there's nothing crazy yet that's maybe like a Willie Calhoun type. He's 3.5. Joe Adell's now up to 4.5. All of a sudden he went from 2.7 down up to 4.5. So I'm not playing Joe Adell at 4.5, but Adam Duvall 4.7 is a good spot against San Martin too. So here's one, Tyler Naquin 4.2. I like but going against Morton, but I like Tyler Naquin at 4.2. He's probably one of my top GBP plays.
Yeah, and if you want to, and I don't know if you said this, my apologies if I missed it, but Brad Miller looks to be leading off here against Barrios at 3.1K. Also somebody definitely you want to consider there. So
I like Texas. I like these Texas bats tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think that there's some value here. There's a lot of good pay-ups that I like, and you mentioned some good names on there. Did you mention Brandon Nemo? Did you talk about him?
No, Nemo. Yeah, Nemo's in play.
Yeah, he's leading off here, and obviously has a platoon advantage here against Gray. And it looks like Brandon Nemo is projecting really well. Some good batted ball data, good heat maps. That guy really throws only 2 pitches to lefties, which is the fastball. And I always knew this about Nemo. He's not a good fastball hitter, but he's a good off-speed guy. And so, honestly, he's never been a huge power guy, but great, great at making contact, good discipline. He has a 15% walk rate, which is very impressive. Probably why he's sitting at the top of the order. So obviously, if they can get him on, that's going to be impressive on there. I was kind of looking and seeing if there was any standout value on FanDuel, some of the names that we mentioned on there. If I could just kind of find any, I wanted to dig some out for some guys. But it's
probably Nemo on FanDuel too. Nemo's
always cheap. 2.6. Yeah, 2.6 on FanDuel. Definitely cheap. Michael Brantley, man. I know it's a lefty-lefty matchup, but Uncle Mike not getting any respect on FanDuel at only 2.8. I think that you can definitely play these Toronto guys on FanDuel. George Springer is only 3.6. Gurriel's 3.1. Teo Hernandez is 3.6. All those guys are sub 4K. But the outfielders, Juan Soto leads the salary on FanDuel at 4.4, Mike Trout 4.2, Kyle Tucker 4.1. Everybody else is under 4K. And so that kind of covers it, Pete. Let's talk real quick about if you have a favorite play today or your home run play or however you want to do it. How do you want to end this?
Well, actually, I gave him mine. So Rangers are my top stack. I just saw Barrios get 22 home runs last year, 15 of them to lefties. So I'm on a Rangers stack. Seager, Lowe, Brad Miller, those 3. That's my top stack. What's yours? Then I'm thinking of my home run. Oh, I got my home. And Luke Voigt's my home run call. So Voigt and the Rangers.
Okay, fair enough. I'm gonna be attacking the Angels here. I think that this Detmers guy shouldn't even be a number 5 starter for most of these teams, in my opinion. I think that the Astros here are absolutely going to be able to attack this Angels bullpen, this Angels, staff, like I said, is not impressive to me. I'm going to be a little bit of a homer today. I am going to do there for their stack, but for the home run play, I gotta come up with something good. I'm already down 1-0 today. I mean, I was kind of looking at there, and I mentioned a couple guys that I liked a lot. I think I'm gonna pick Corey Seager. I think that's he's up there. I think he's got some pop, and I think that he's in a good ballpark to do it. So I'm gonna roll with Corey Seager, and yours is Luke Voigt, right?
Luke Voigt.
All right, cool, man. All right, so Pete, that wraps it up. We're right at an hour here. I appreciate you coming out today. Obviously, you guys check out the links in Discord. We put a BVP in the chat as well for you guys to jump in there. I use Swish Analytics. Feel free to drop your own if you're one of our staff members listening, or drop it in our Discord for premium. Jump in the Discord today, guys. Like I said, man, let's keep it rolling, Pete. Let's get 2 out of 2 today, and let's go for every day for MLB, man. Good luck today on the F1 show. I appreciate you coming out, brother.
11 o'clock, 1 hour, F1 DFS with Chris Besh, so that should be good. I'm not an F1 guy. I'm looking for. He's great. He's crushed both slates. So good luck today, Adam. You're gonna have the
early
scores early, right? And I'll do the 7 o'clock slate.
That's
my girl's got a playoff game tonight for football, so big day today.
All right, man. Appreciate you guys. This is YFC Sports. Adam, also known as V12, Pete Cole, signing out, guys. Have a good day.